Hello, GotAUkulele.com back. It's instrument review day. Been looking forward to this one. There's been quite a bit of buzz about these for a number of years, really. They've been out. This is something called the Tiny Tenor, developed by Romero Creations. The Romero Creations Tiny Tenor, this one being the solid spruce top, laminate mahogany back and sides one. Bit of background to this. This is an instrument that's developed by master guitar and ukulele luthier Pepe Romero Jr., who makes some joyous instruments. And he partnered up with Grammy Award-winning musician and ukulele player Daniel Ho to get together to create an instrument that met a couple of things that they were looking for. What they wanted was an instrument that had the projection and the sound of a tenor, but actually was a bit smaller and was in sort of concert spec in terms of overall length. And that's what this is. So it uses some design features that keep that size down a little bit that we'll look at. It's all handmade in Vietnam, so it's a Far Eastern instrument. As I say, we've got a solid spruce top in two pieces and two-piece back and two-piece sides in laminate mahogany. And it is what we call a boat paddle shape, teardrop shape, kind of pineapple. It's in that family, but it's a boat paddle shape because it looks like a boat paddle. And I really like that. I'm a sucker for this shape. I think it looks really traditional. I think it looks different, but real. It's not gimmicky. It's a very old style. And I like that a lot. The whole thing is finished in a really nice satin. It's flawless in its build quality. Nice resonant body, no marks on it, no pooling, really nice. We've got some black edge binding to the top and the back, and the top has got some black and white purfling as well, which I can't quite show you. There we are. We've got a rosewood through the body bridge, so the strings go inside and are tied off, and a cut shaped compensated bone saddle. Bit of abalone around the sound hole too, and what a sound hole that is. I don't know whether it's an optical illusion with the narrow top, but it looks really huge. Good thing about that for me is it allows me to get a good look inside. We've got neat notched kerfing there, nice, neat and tidy, no mess, no glue spots, no back bracing as such, but it is a laminate back. But you've got this sort of fan affair going down, sort of strengthening strips running down the back. Normal bracing on the top by the look of it, and it's really nice. Onto the neck, this is made of what I think is mahogany. It's not specified. It's got a bit of an excessive number of pieces. I mean, there's a stack of 3 pieces there on the heel, which is capped in black, and another joint up at the headstock, so there's lots of them. It's also quite a round profile, a round sort of C-shaped profile, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like them a bit flatter. I'm also not a huge fan of the fact that whilst this is a tenor, even though it's small, it's a 17-inch scale tenor instrument. It's only got a 35mm nut up there. I own sopranos with more space at the nut than that, and I know they're trying to save space top to tail, but there's no reason why you couldn't make the nut wider. Anyway, topped with rosewood. I don't really like the colouring of the rosewood. That's not the light. It is actually really pale up here and really dark down here. I don't think that's a design feature. I just think that's not a great piece of wood. And we've got a total of 16 nickel silver frets with 14 to the body. That seems a bit stingy, but because of the position of the sound hole, you couldn't really extend this fingerboard anymore to make it longer and put more on without destroying the overall length, which they're trying to save. Okay, position markers, by the way, at 5, 7, 10 and 12, and they are repeated with dots at the side. No complaints. Again, really nicely. It's edge bound as well in black, no sharp edges, really nicely put together. It's a nice instrument. Bone nut, setup, saddle and nut on this one, perfect, nothing I would change. And then the real sort of striking look is that cut down headstock, which really does stop just above the tuners, and that reduces the overall length and gets it down into a concert overall scale. They are geared matte black tuners, small buttons, really nice. They're all right. Daniel Ho logo stamped in the front, and this one comes with labella strings with a low G. I'm not a fan of having a low G forced on me. I'd like to put a low G on if I want one rather than it coming as stock. This is also a wound string. However, I don't, as you know, mark scores down for the strings because strings can be changed. And you also get a Romero Creations padded pod case, which is rather nice, and that comes in at a not inconsiderable $500, or about £429 in the UK. Now I'll come on to the price a little bit later, but that's $500 for a solid top laminate back and sides made in Vietnam instrument. Now when you bear in mind that I recently reviewed a concert solid spruce top V-tab made in the Far East that was about £100, this is quite expensive, I think. I'll come on to that in a moment. Let's have a play of it, that's what matters most. It's really light, it's really nice to hold, it's really tactile, there's no build issues with it absolutely anywhere, it's brilliantly put together. As I say, light and playable. And has that size reduced its volume? No. It's got a hell of a punch, big nice sound hole there. It's got a real sort of punchy wee. Loads of sustain, really nice chime, the highs are good, the low G is helping balance off the bass, and I wonder whether, because with that spruce top, there's me saying I don't like a low G, without the low G would it be too bright? I think it probably would be. I think it's a bit like Blackbird putting a low G on their Clara just to tone down that brightness, because this has got it in spades. I think it's really pretty. A really pretty tone, a really good construction, a wonderful look. I like the idea, I like the fact it's cut down. But $500, that's too rich for me. This is, I mean, if this was made in the USA, I dread to think what it would cost. If they moved the production to Vietnam in order to drop the prices, $500 is still a lot of money. I know the Raponos and whatnot made over there in Indonesia for about $500, but you're getting all solid woods, you're getting gloss, you're getting more decoration. This is ultimately a fairly plain looking instrument, albeit with one with a striking design, and I think it's a bit too expensive for me. If you've got the money, you're certainly not going to be making a mistake, because it ticks all the right boxes as a musical instrument. I think it sounds wonderful, I really like it. And I love the concept, but I don't know whether I could part with $500 for one myself. Still a very good instrument though, so I'm a bit mixed, and when you look at the scores in the written review, which is linked below, you'll see that the overall score is dragged down a bit by the price, in my opinion. It's just a review, don't shoot me. I'll be back next week, some more interesting stuff coming. Thanks very much to Southern Ukulele Store in the UK, who stock these and loaned me this one. This will be winging its way back down to Bournemouth, where you can buy it. And I'll be back. See you very soon. Thanks very much.